ever since a certain Mr. Spielberg made an entire generation scared to go into the water, literally hundreds of copycat movies have followed. In fact, there's enough shark movies out there to fill the ocean. Over the last 10 years, these shark attack movies have increased rapidly, and they've started to go really over the top. It's almost like all the different B-movie studios out there are trying to top one another. We've had shark attacks, we've had giant-sized sharks, and we've even had prehistoric sharks, sharks that can swim in sand, shark-octopus hybrids, and two-headed sharks. Yes, really. Is there anything that the overpopulated, shitty shark movie genre hasn't done already? Luckily, our old friends at the Asylum have the answer, with sharks in a tornado. In Sharknado, a freak hurricane hits Los Angeles, causing man-eating sharks to be scooped up in waterspouts and flooding the city with shark-infested seawater. Surfer and bar owner Finn sets out with his friends to rescue his teenage daughter and his ex-wife, played by Tara Reid. Blimey, Tara Reid is in this? Hollywood hasn't been kind to her since the American Pie movies, has it? Apparently she read the script and thought, wow, this is so shit it's good, according to her recent interview on BBC Radio 1. But I reckon she just didn't have a bloody clue about what the film was about until the first day shooting. It would certainly explain her completely awful performance. For someone who was the only cast member that could be considered as a Hollywood actress, her acting, if you can call it that, is easily the worst in this entire movie. And that's saying something. She still doesn't look old enough to have a teenage daughter. Or a 20-year-old son. The funny thing about this film was not only how sheer bloody awful it was, but also how many references to Jaws did they manage to crowbar in there. Within the first 20 minutes they've already nicked the ending from Jaws. Gas canister in shark's mouth, shoot canister, shark blows up. I'm just surprised no one said, "Smile you son of a bitch" at some point. Oh, and where did all the fucking guns come from anyway? One minute the characters are all sat in a bar drinking, the next minute they're pulling out shotguns. So come on movie, what else are you going to steal from Jaws?
We're gonna need a bigger chopper.
Oh yes, and they've sneakily thrown in an Evil Dead reference too. Unless it's a mere coincidence that our main hero is running around the place with a chainsaw in one hand and a shotgun in the other. There is one sentence that you are likely going to be saying over and over again whilst watching this movie, and that sentence is, what the fuck? Like, how the bloody hell are people getting pulled under the water by sharks when they're only paddling in the water up to their knees? What the fuck? How are these sharks staying alive so long out of the water? What the fuck? How are these cars still working after being submerged in about 14 foot of water? What the fuck? How did this shark just bite through the roof of a car? What the fuck? Why is this car just randomly exploded? What the fuck?
My mom always told me Hollywood was show me.
What the fuck? So, how do our heroes stop the Sharknado in the end?
Instead of letting live sharks rain down on people, we're gonna get in that chopper and throw bombs into the tornadoes.
Why, they decide to blow it up with bombs, of course. Hey, so you know, sharks are attacking people and that, so rather than staying inside and waiting for a few days for this all to blow over and risk having the sharks kill maybe a dozen people, let's instead risk killing thousands more people by chucking some bombs out of a helicopter. But then again, if you're expecting logic in a film like this, then you're in the wrong place. It's sharks in a fucking tornado, for God's sake. Perhaps the highlight of the movie is near the end, where Finn grabs a chainsaw, dives straight into a shark's open mouth, then chainsaws his way out of there before squishing himself back inside the shark to pull out a presumed dead character who miraculously is completely unharmed. Again, what the fuck? Oh, and as expected, Finn and Tara Reid's character get back together again, because the first thing you want to do to someone who's covered in blood is kiss them directly on the lips, right? At the end of the day, would I recommend Sharknado? Well, that really depends on how you watch it, really. I made the mistake of watching it alone. It was so bad that my wife actually walked out of the room whilst the movie was on, whilst asking aloud how shit like this gets made in Hollywood to start with. Luckily, I was chatting with friends on Facebook who'd already seen the movie whilst I was watching it, and I think they sort of kind of helped me to get through it. I would have drunk a heck of a lot more if they hadn't. I would like to watch the movie again, but this time with a bunch of friends, just so that you can enjoy its horribly funny moments together. And to support each other, I guess. I recommend that you do the same if you're planning on watching Sharknado. But then again, I can't fault its success, as a sequel has already been planned. If the first movie led you to drink heavily to get through it, then the sequel will no doubt have you injecting heroin by the end. Directly into your eyeballs. Just so that you can't watch any more of this tosh. If you're watching this film on its own, then it gets a big thumbs down. However, with a group of like-minded friends in the mood for a really good bad movie, then it's at least good enough for a rental.